Hello and welcome once again to What Culture Gaming. I'm Joe Hendry and today we're going to be talking about something that needs to be addressed because video games are all about fun, right? Well, we expect them to be balanced as well because when I am facing my friend and there's pride on the line, we want a fair contest and we want a fair test of our skills. We want the better player to win. But there are some games where there is, say, a weapon or an item that is so overpowered that no amount of technique or skill can overcome. And today we're going to name and shame. That's right, today we're talking about the 10 most overpowered weapons in video gaming history. Before we get started, let's begin with the rules. Now, whilst we've kept the majority of the weapons and items on this list for multiplayer sins, we've also included a few single-player items that are so blatantly game-breaking that they just had to be mentioned. Also, we're going to keep this list to one weapon or item per franchise, so we won't have any repeat offenders today. Now, let's get onto the list. Starting at number 10, it's the M6D Personal Defense System, otherwise known as the pistol from Halo Combat Evolved. Halo's pistol is so powerful that it's almost like a long-range handheld shotgun that you can also use to zoom in a little bit to nail your opponents with. Now, Bungie co-founder Jason Jones stated in an interview with IGN that during the game's development, the pistol seemed balanced in multiplayer but wasn't performing how they wanted in single player. It was right at the end of development and he tweaked the code by just one variable, and that one variable seemed to completely unbalance the combat system. In the sequel to Halo, the pistol is known as the M6C Personal Defense System, making that gesture known that they'd taken the pistol down a notch. In at number 9, it's the first of 3 single-player offenders. It's Fierce Deity's Mask from The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. In fairness, you do have to overcome some serious challenges to obtain Fierce Deity's Mask. You have to obtain all the other masks in the game to obtain this one, so you do have to go through a challenge to its credit. But once you do get that, it kind of makes the end boss of the game laughably easy. You've gone through all these difficult moments and you're hoping for that climactic final boss fight, but once you have this mask, it transforms you into Fierce Deity Link, which actually allows you to shoot these kind of laser type things from your sword and waste the final boss in a few brief moments, which may be fun but kind of ruins the final challenge of the game. Number 8, the knife from the Call of Duty series. The simple and sturdy knife from Call of Duty can be both extremely satisfying and frustrating depending what side of the exchange that you're on. We all know that the knife is a one-hit KO and it can be used quickly to eliminate a large number of opponents on the battlefield, provided you can get to them. Now, it hasn't got too high a rank because there's been an argument that there's a kind of rock, paper, scissor effect between shotguns, knives, and, well, everything else. And whilst the knife is guilty of being the reason for a number of broken down friendships and broken controllers, it is an integral part of the Call of Duty series and part of what makes online play so much fun with that game. So we haven't scored it too highly this time. In at number 7, however, it's the AWP rifle from the Counter-Strike series. And let me just recap this one for you. It's long range, it's one-hit KO, and it's here to enrage everyone. Because it's not just one-hit KO to the head, it's also one-hit KO to, well, anywhere but the legs, really. And in a game that's all about speed, precision, reaction time, and making tactical decisions based on the weaponry available, it really just ends in a situation where everyone relies too much on this gun and either runs around manically trying to catch each other off guard or just camping trying to scope each other from a distance. Now, developers have taken steps to reduce its dominance, but even after slowing the scoped movement, it's still unfair, resulting in many online servers completely banning the weapon in online play. In at number 6, from the Worms series, it's the Concrete Donkey. Now, how to describe this? Well, it's a very loud, very large, giant concrete donkey that you can drop on your opponents. Now, heaven forbid that all of your worms, or soldiers if you will, are grouped together in a small area, because if so, they're most likely all going to be dead, because this concrete donkey doesn't even need to land on you specifically, even just nearby can provide enough damage to kill your worm, and it goes all the way down to the bottom of the map, destroying anything and everything in its path, often taking your entire team with it down to the water or squashing them to the bottom to their
peril. This is totally overpowered and is extremely annoying, especially in intense battle situations. So you'll need a gentleman's agreement in place to not use the concrete donkey to make this game more interesting. Number 5, from the Doom series, it's the BFG, otherwise known as the Big F***ing Gun. Now, this is a one-hit insta-kill that reduces your opponents to a small collection of atoms within seconds, and it's so powerful that you can even starch the notorious final boss, this spider demon, with only 2 shots. Quite honestly, the BFG does effectively kill the challenge of the game, but it's not something I feel too bad about because Doom really was responsible for about 95% of my childhood tears, so the BFG just really felt like revenge to me. In at number 4 from the Smash Bros series, it's the hammer. Now this one requires a little bit of background because before we knew Mario as the platform jumping, princess saving, Koopa crushing plumber that we know and love, Mario applied his trade and paid his bills by bashing Donkey Kong's skull in with a giant hammer. Now it makes its return in Smash Bros and allows you 7.5 seconds of pure carnage, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but in this fast-paced beat-em-up, trust me, this is a lifetime. Each hit does 22 damage and has a high likelihood of instantly KOing your opponents. In at number 3, it's the PRL 412 from the Resident Evil 4 series. Now, I understand this is a surprise entry for a lot of folks, but let me just remind you how devastating this gun is, because I accept the fact that you don't get it in the original playthrough of the game, and you have to unlock it, and this, that, and the next thing, but once you do unlock it, it completely breaks the idea of boss fighting. Now, the gun is designed to kill the parasites within your enemies, which is fine for regular enemies, because you have to fully charge the shot to insta-kill them, which takes some time, and that's balanced. But for the bosses, it's absolutely ridiculous. This is perhaps most apparent in the final boss of the game, because all you have to do to take out this final challenge, which is supposed to be this mountain climb, testing your decision-making skills, your reaction speed, your use of resources, but no, all you have to do is equip this gun and click the button to fire, and you can waste the final boss in somewhere between 2 to 3 seconds. In at number 2 from the Mario Kart series, it's the spiked blue... No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the lightning, or thunderbolt as it can also be known as. And let me explain why, because that spiked blue shell is terrible, but it gets a bad rap compared to this because it doesn't just target one racer, it hits every other racer. It makes you lose any items that you had. It makes you lose coins, which in turn makes you lose speed. It makes you tiny, which makes you slower. And once you're tiny, if you get run over by that larger racer, you get even smaller, which reduces your speed even more, which means you can't now make the jumps and you're going to fall to your peril as well. Do you get the idea? It might as well take my firstborn child while it's at it. We know that the Mario Kart series, part of the fun is that everything's a little bit overpowered, but this takes the biscuit. And that takes us to our number 1. It couldn't be anything else. From Perfect Dark, it's the Farsight XR20. Now, we got pretty amped up there about Mario Kart, but this one is going to cause me heart failure, because let me just go through the reasons why this gun is a disgrace. In multiplayer first-person gaming, we need some balance here, but this gun allows you not only to see through walls, it's one-hit KO, and not only that, it does the aiming for you. You don't even have to aim at the opponent, you just have to look in their general direction, and the XR20 will look through walls, lock onto the opponent for you, and kill them in one shot. So thanks very much for ruining the fun of multiplayer first-person gaming, XR20. You are our biggest offender for today. Thank you so much for listening. I've been Joe Hendry. You can follow me at Joe S. Hendry on Twitter. And this is What Culture Gaming. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we shall see you next time.